Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, your ultimate agent of Ultra Action X7, also the host of Zenrom, the podcast of Heroes and Monsters. Today, we are going to be talking about the final two episodes, sort of Ultraman, the 1966 special effects spectacular series. These are two great episodes, so let's get right.
Ultraman, Ultraman, here he comes from the sky. Ultraman.
All right, so today's first episode is number 38, and that is the Spaceship Rescue Command. That's close enough. I think that's pretty good. It was released, the first air date was April 2nd, 1967, directed by Hajime Tsuburaya, who was Eiji's son. And we have a problem on planet Cordon, or Planet Q, as it is known in the original, in the Japanese version. So, the scientists at NASA here are watching. There's a spaceship, or I wouldn't say spaceship. It's really more of a space station. So, Space Station Rescue Command might even be a better title. But they're watching and they see something moving on planet Cordon, or Planet Q. And then they see something else, which flashes and blinds or semi blinds them. It also blinds the Science Patrol who are watching. It turns out it's a monster, of course, but they have to go investigate. And off they go in their little shuttle. I don't know which shuttle this is. It's got a name, I'm sure. But this is one of my favorite episodes. Lots of action, very tense story, flying away. We don't know where Planet Cordon is, somewhere, but it's in the middle of a meteor. They have to go through a meteorite storm, naturally, which is sadly the worst effects in the episode. Not bad, but not great. But here's our space station, which I don't even know if that has a name. Space Station V2, because we know if it was V3, Destron would be out to kill it. They get there, and it's blank, but they finally find the guys, and it's a international space station. We don't actually know what they're looking for, really, but unfortunately, they found out they've blown out the B fuses, and they are called the BM fuses in the original Japanese, which is probably why they've changed the name in the dub. No one can blame them for that, because that would make this serious episode a lot less serious. It's a finely balanced episode with comedy from Ito and everybody along there, but they have to go to the planet to find one of to find these fuses. There's some on the planet. There's none on the space station. They don't have any spares, apparently. So they all decide they leave Fuji there, of course, so the guys can go down to the planet. And they're in their little Lost in Space outfits. Probably a coincidence there, or what people unfamiliar with the law of large numbers would call a coincidence. And they see two monsters, Saigo and Kila, or Kira, depending on how you want to translate it. But Kila, and Kila is this one that looks like a trilobite standing up, and then Saigo is just a weird looking critter. Saigo is the sand monster, or I believe is the subtitle is the sand. Let's look here to make sure. But and then Kila there, it can obviously expel sand upon it out from its mouth, or Sand Abyss Monster is its subtitle. It's not. I don't know. It's just not a very interesting monster. I wouldn't have to have it in my collection. However, Kila there is the photothermic monster, and this is one tough beast. And since this is one of the 3 episodes I saw as a kid, I actually have the toy of that, which we've seen. And it opens those eyes, and blammo! Everyone, it's blinding. So they fight for a while, but Saigo runs away. Space VTOL lands, and then out pops this little bitty. Does it even say what the mecha are in here? That's kind of annoying. Well, be that as it may, there's no guest star. There are some guest stars. Um, let's see. I'm trying to see. Enver Altenby, Captain Arthur, is the one we see, just to prove it's an International Space Station. Enver. That's yes. Uh, let's see. Keeler was played by Haru Nakajima, which explains a lot. Aichi Matsushima was Saigo, and of course, Ben Furuya Ben was Ultraman, as always. So lots of great miniatures here. They do a great job combining the live action with this SLTT8. I don't know, and it's got rockets because Saigo attacks it, but unfortunately the rockets freeze him and blow him apart. So that's a pretty interesting little effect there. I think. Does it say what happened? Oh, it probably did, but it's a cool effect. And then they're trying to get back. They find the little monitor where the fuse is. So out goes Ito and um, Arashi, naturally. See, there's snow. Wherever they filmed, they shot this, there's snow on the ground. So I bet you they were actually happy to be in those suits to keep them warm. And Keela just watches them. Now, Arashi wants to shoot it, and Captain Mura says, "Don't shoot it, you moron. Do we have to go through this again?" Harken back to a couple episodes ago. So once they get the fuse, the eyes open, and Arashi gets blinded, and they bring him back, and then Keela starts menacing them. Hayata runs out, and they're going to walk for it back to the spaceship, back to their shuttle, I guess. So Hayata conveniently tells them, I'll distract the monster, you go. You can come back and get me and Arashi. So off they go, and there's a little comedy bit here. They get there. Using the Beta Capsule, Hayata becomes Ultraman. And the fight is on. So it's a good fight, and once again, Keela is one tough monster. Here's a nice shot where the spaceship lifts off, and then we're back to fighting. Keela's curtain closes his eyes, and then Ultraman keeps looking at him and gets blinded. So Keela beats on him for a while. Yeah. Keela, I don't know exactly what its etymology is. Let me look there, because I do love this beast. Like I said, I've got the Bandai toy of it from the early '90s. Got it from Books Nippon. No, Pony Toy Go Round. How's that for a blast from the past there? Etymology? Blah, blah, blah. That's just history. Where's the etymology, morons? Tell me. English name, Killer and I. Okay. It's got the back of a trilobite. So, as all Godzilla fans know. But it's tough enough. The shredding halo doesn't work. The Spacian beam doesn't even phase it. Uh-oh. Watch out, Ultraman. Fortunately, he jumps behind there. And this is a deadly blast because it blows up rocks. Finally, Ultraman, what does he use there? Their shuttle, the Shiratori, is the name of their shuttle. They called it a space insect, but let's see. I'm trying to see what this thing is called. His power is called. Well, it's cool. I mean, they did a great job with all of the effects. Every one of the animated beams. Super Eye was tops at that. The only person that even came close would have been George Powell. But it lifts him up, and then Kilo blows up real good. They get the fuse back, save the Space Station V2, and off they go. Of course, there's a subtitled bit here where they didn't have the English dub, sadly. The full English dub. I would double dip, triple dip, even for a Blu-ray set with the full English dub on it. They're out there. We know they're out there. Just do it. Millhouse. Now I know how. Now we know what it's like when doves cry. But off they go. And that is the end of our first episode. It's great. I love Keela. Saigo, I can take or leave, but even the humans defeat him foretelling what will happen in the next episode. Uh-oh, what's happening here? Narrator, are you going to tell us?
From a far planet in one of the distant galaxies comes a strange armada to destroy Earth. The approach of the alien objects is detected by monitoring satellites, and warnings are flashed around the world from...
So there you go. That's just the first bit there. I wanted to use some more episodes, some more of the last episode, but forgot because it's such a fun episode. I got excited. Episode 39 here is called Sayonara or Farewell Ultraman. Sayonara Ultraman, and it is the final. It is the final episode in the original season. Now we do have an extra episode that we'll review next week, and that'll be fun as well. But in this, it is the last episode, so you can tell what's going to happen. Now, this is something unusual for Westerners because they just, TV shows just go on and on and on as long as they're profitable. They don't just stop and end. Giant Robot did, Space Giants did, and Ultraman did. So those first three big ones that showed up here just ended, which is just really weird. It's just strange to think about.
Paris and New York, the London and Moscow divisions, and ultimately to Science Patrol headquarters. The terrifying news has thrown the world onto the brink of panic. And now all eyes and hopes turn to the last resort to avoid universal disaster, the Science Patrol.
That's a lot to put on the Science Patrol there, don't you think? I mean, they're the last resort. But Fuji's hair has gotten so much longer in this season. And there's the ships again. They're about to attack. That's the big one is the mothership, of course. And there they are, zapping the aircraft of the whatever country is helping. I think they're in France. So there's lots of spaceship attacks and blows up explosions. And of course, you get Professor Iwamoto. Of course, is Dr. Iwamoto, Akihiko Hirata, and everybody else there. And they're going to send it out. Unfortunately, when he went out to catch up with Captain Murray, he gets attacked. And now the Science Patrol springs into action because they are, of course, the only
Oh, well, three of them. I just spotted them.
Ito, the master of the obvious. But they blow up all the ships, literally, except the big one there, which gets away. And we'll see that. See a couple of that. The fake Iwamoto blows up the control panel in the Science Patrol headquarters.
Let's go. We've got to get out of here. You all right?
Yes.
And when they catch up to him, Arashi just belts him. Unfortunately, here we go. Pow!
Hold it, Arashi. Stop it.
They turn him over and they see what looks to be a Kemer alien, and Hayata just zaps him right away. There you hear it. That causes an eruption of the ground from the big spaceship comes out yet again, and of course, a large balloon shows up, and then let's see if we can hear some of that. That's the balloon, and then it explodes, and we see the most fearsome space dinosaur ever, Zeton, or Zeton.
That looks like the leader. Our best chances now.
I love the sound effects too.
Captain, it doesn't affect the space creature.
No, you are correct. And using the Beta Capsule, Hayata becomes Ultraman. They do go back to help Iwamoto because he calls him and says, "I need help." And Ultraman uses a catching ray, which is a cool effect here, but unfortunately, Zeton is too strong and breaks out of it. Look at the wide variety of effects and sounds here. So imaginative, just incredible. And he can teleport.
The warning light begins to blink. Should it stop completely, it will
Zeton is immune to the shredding halo again, and the fight's on. And finally,
mean Ultraman will never rise again.
he absorbs the spacium ray and blasts him twice, breaking the color timer, which probably saved his life. So this was a surprise to me. I didn't know this was the final episode. I didn't know how many there were. It's just funny to think about, even in the late 80s and early 90s, that there were only 39 episodes of Ultraman, because I would have thought, I knew there were more Ultras, thanks to Japanese Fantasy Film Journal and their correspondent, one Mr. August Dragoni, who put the very misleadingly six Ultra Brothers versus the Monster Army picture in one of them. Now, that's not his fault that the movie's awful, but sure looked like it would be great with six Ultra Brothers. So, Ultraman dreams his past battles, all two of them, with a certain King of the Monsters, and then, oh, that one is Naranga. No, that's not Naranga. Gabadon. It's two strange ones, but they're trying to figure out how to save Ultraman here and stop the Zeton from attacking him. And they give him, let's see, there we go.
It was just completed yesterday. It's the Dyna charge. Oh, good. Thank you very much. That will keep the creature from Ultraman. You can.
So Zeton's attacking the Space Patrol headquarters and blasting it apart, setting it on fire. But they use the Dyna charge.
Let's go. Bye.
Let's go. Which, there we go. There it goes. And it lifts him into the air once again, and then chunks of the monster fall down on them.
Come on.
And it is destroyed. They have hydrating systems that put out the fire, and then suddenly, what's that?
Just like
Ultraman again?
no. This one's a lot older.
So Zophie shows up. Now, we don't know, none of us at that point in time, and probably not even when they made it, knew that was Ultraman's superior, his older brother, Zophie Nissan. But we soon find out.
As your superior, I would like to know why you allowed that monster to get the best of you. Your powers are far greater than his.
I know that, sir. But the monster used a weapon I hadn't expected. It damaged my warning light, and I couldn't measure the strength left in me.
While you were unconscious, the Earth people used one of their new weapons and destroyed the creature.
I am grateful to the Science Patrol.
So, due to his good record, and he explains to Zophie that he's given his life for it. Well, he killed Hayata, and he wants to make sure he's all right. So he's going to come back after he gets his color timer fixed. And using the Beta Capsule, Zophie removes Hayata's life force from Ultraman and tells him he will be back. And then he takes him back to M78.
Ayata, where have you been? Ultraman
again. Don't worry. He'll return. I know he'll be returning. But I just hope that he's all right.
He's all right,
The
Hayata.
chief told me he would return.
So long, Ultraman! Take care!
There's Fuji saying goodbye.
Hurry back!
But you know, they had to. They had to.
Turning to Earth once again. And since his warning light needed replacement on his home planet, he was eager to see old friends again.
So they knew he had to come back. Well, I would assume that anyone who watched this on a regular basis in between the late '60s and into the late '70s for 10 years probably got a chance to see most of the Ultraman episodes at some point in time, and see the first one and see the last one and put two and two together. Now, if you didn't see the first episode, you'd just think he came back. You wouldn't know. And that's why the dub says that, of course. But it's a very poetic little ending there where they go back to M78.
Hayata held fast to his Beta Capsule, knowing Ultraman once more would be fighting the monsters who attack Earth. And with this knowledge, Ultraman followed his superior to planet M78 in the fourth galaxy.
Doo-doo. And there they go. That's a pretty shot, isn't it? So that's the end of the original run there and the end of our episode today. All right, my fellow agents, that is our second to last, the penultimate episode of this Ultraman First Run series. In 2 weeks, we'll start a new live action series. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be, but it'll be great. I promise. Be that as it may, I hope you have liked, shared, and subscribed, and just watched a little longer than usual, and enjoyed your big old bowls of hummus of perfection. But until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off.
Watch our hero fly. In a super jet he comes from a billion miles away, from a distant planet land. Comes our hero